Hi lovelies, you're welcome to class today. Today we'll be learning how to make this Senegalese zara cap with this ruffle at the back. So for this design I made use of my duchess. You can use any fabric of your choice, raw silk, damask, any fabric you can lay your hand. Even you can use your ankara. I made use of mako and I use my crenoni. So the first thing is to take my measurements. So the measurement I use here, firstly I cut out 36 by 8 inches. I cut out 36 by 8 inches in two places. Here I made use of 1 yard of duchess. So after cutting out my 36 by 8 inches in two places, the remaining I just make use of the remaining fabric. So the remaining fabric I folded 3 edges out of the 4 edges that we have. So I just pipe it in like this. If you have a weaving machine, you can weave yours. So after that, the next thing is to iron it. You give it a good press. So after ironing, I pick the side I did not pipe, the side that is remaining from the 1 yard. I think I have 43 inches left after cutting out 2 8 inches. So I just cut my marker also 19 by 3. So I mark the midpoint of the 43 inches side, not the 36 inches side. So I fold it into 2, mark the center and place my marker inward to stitch it down. So while stitching, please don't stitch on the marker so that you'll be able to adjust it. So after stitching, I try to adjust the marker to make sure that it falls at the center. So yeah, I'm trying to check if it falls at the center. So if it did not fall at the center, you can just adjust it very well. So here I have mine. So here I'm trying to adjust the material. Then you pick up your elastic. I make use of elastic at the back of this zara cap. So as you have turned your zara cap to the wrong side, you place your elastic on the marker. Just a bit on top of the marker. Then you secure that point down. After that, you mark 3 inches. You mark 3 inches. And after you mark 3 inches, that 3 inches is just a guide for you to know where you will pull. So the first thing is to stitch that first part that you pin. Then after that, you pull the elastic. So here I'm marking my 3 inches. So after that, you pull the elastic and sew on that 3 inches. Make sure you pull the elastic to give you the stretchy effect. So I repeat the same thing on the other side and just cut out my elastic. Yeah, I'm done with the 2 sides. So this is how it will look. It will make it to fit into any size of the head. So the next thing now is to pick my 36 by 8 inches I cut earlier, fold it into 2, stitch it and turn it to the right side. After turning, this is what I have. Then you iron this out. While ironing, let the sewn part be at the edge. I later re-ironed this. I later re-ironed my own to make the sewn part be at the edge. So don't make mistake I made. Just iron that the sewn part will be at the edge. So you get your paper tape and cover up the crenoni. The essence is just to avoid the crenoni from fraying or to inconvenience your customer. Just look for something, sellotape to cover the edge. So after that, you fix it inside your loop. You arrange your material, cut out the excess and also tape the other side. And after that, you adjust it in very well. I'm done with the second part as well. This is the second piece. And after that, you fold your fabric inward just like this. So you fold the mouth inward like this and you stitch it down. You repeat this for the two edges and on the two piece of the material. So here I'm done. Back to our Zara cap base. So the first thing you do is to mark the center with your chalk. You just use your chalk to make a mark at the center. Then after that, you pick your tape. So right from the edge of this Zara cap, right on the marco, you mark out 3/4 inches, not up to 1, and it's more than half. So you just mark it all around till you get to the midpoint. You continue your marking till you get to the middle that you mark earlier. So after the mark, on top of that mark, you come up by 1 inch as well. Then you make your marking to the center. So once you're done with the marking, you pick up your piece, your piece that you have filled with crinoline. You pick out one of it and place it right after the elastic. Just measure 3 inches away from the marco. Just measure 3 inches, and that exact point that you have the inches, you just place it on the marco. That point will be at the edge of the marco. Then you pin this down. The other part, the second piece as well, you put the same thing. You mark 3 inches just immediately after the marco. That 3 inches point will be right after the marco go. While maintaining the line that you have drawn earlier, you make sure that the first one sits on the first line and the second one also sits on the second line as well. And you can see I've aligned the two pieces together. So you secure this with your pin. Make sure you stretch this the elastic part before sewing it. So you have to stitch down this other side, but while sewing, make sure you stretch the elastic parts. So here is what I have after sewing it. You just be doing this for one side only, one side. Then after that, you fold your base into two and stitch just right after the elastic part, just to hold it. Do not stitch with the hand, just the marco side alone. So here is what I have. You see that I just stitch the other side, and while stitching, make sure that this your crinoline part is not affected. So the next thing now is to start with our invisible stitching. So you start with the first one, you place it on the line that you have marked. Make sure you maintain the line and you start your invisible hand stitching. So the meaning of invisible hand stitching is just that you stitch in such a way that it will not show outside and it will not show inside. The thread will just be passing in between the material. Just watch the way I'm doing this. You can see to just pass in between the material of both the one with crinoline and the base. If you watch closely, you see the way I'm doing this. It will pass in between the material of the base, the one with marco, and also after that you will fix it also into the material that carries the crinoli. The next one is the material that is the base. You can just watch closely. I'm very sure that you will get this. So to pass in between the material, you can see comes out, then to pass in between the material that carries the crinoli again. You can see the thread will just be passing in between the fabrics, so it won't be visible outside and it won't be visible inside. So just be in between the material, just be picking only the material. So you will do this till you get to the center. So here is how to do your invisible and stitching. So here I'm almost at the center. So as you're making this stitch, you try to pull, not too much, not too tight and not too loose. You try to pull it to make it firm. Then after that, you slant your material upward. You measure from the marco side, you come in by 8 inches. From the other side of the marco, you measure 8 inches towards the center. Then you slant the material upward to that point. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Just slant the material upward to that point. After you measure 7 inches, sorry, not 8, 7 inches, right from the other side of the cap, the other marco side, you measure 7 inches towards the center. You make your mark, then slant your crinoli upward to that point. Then you continue your invisible stitch till you get to the mark, the point you have marked. So as you get to the edge, you can stop your invisible stitching. You just pass your needle inside to secure your stitch very well. You can pass it like 2 to 3 times to secure the stitch you have been making very well. You just try to secure it very well. Then with this, we are done with the first step. So here we are done with the first step. The next thing is to we make our invisible stitch on the second step. So the second part, you just place it on the line, the mark that you have made earlier. Just try to follow the line just like the first step that we did. So still your invisible stitch till you get to the center. So here I'm at the midpoint. So from the upper one, you mark 1 inch downward just to trace the curve that you made upward. You just mark 1 inch till you get to that point that the first one stopped. So then you continue with your invisible stitch till you get to that other part. Then once you get to the last point, you secure it down just like the first part that we have done. So here I'm through with the 2 steps. So the next thing is to make your design. You just cuff it down. This cuffing is based on what you want. You can press it down very well right from the center. You can just press it down a little, then after that you roll the remaining part. This rolling also depends on you, depends on the style you want. You can roll it towards the back. Then after rolling the first one, you roll the second piece as well. It depends on the design you want. So like I said, it depends on the design you want. So I later changed the design. You can press it to go forward more. Anyhow you want it to be, you can just be creative with your design. So I later lose the first one and try to roll it another way. You can see this rolling is different from the first one. So I rolled the second one on it as well, and I think I'm okay with this. So the next thing is for you to pick your needle and thread and tack this down. Tack the one you roll. Just use your needle and thread to secure it. So here I'm done with the tacking. So you can see that the Senegalese cap is getting ready. So the next thing is to make your ruffles. Just use your remaining fabric to make the ruffle. The ruffle is not something serious. You just use your hand to make ruffle, tack it down. Use your hand to gather it together, tack it down till you exhaust the remaining fabric. You continue to use your hand in making the ruffles and tack down. You make the ruffles, you use your needle and thread to tack it down. So here I'm almost done, one side done. So you continue till you get to the head of the fabric. You just use your hand to make the ruffle as you want. So you continue till you exhaust the fabric. So here I'm giving it the final touch. And after all my arrangements, after all the tacking, here's the final look of our Zara cap. I hope you practice this. It is so simple and gorgeous. Thank you for watching. See you in another tutorial. Bye.